Welcome back here to the show. I'm glad you're with us as we've been talking about the past couple of weeks. Listen, guys, football season is right here. Media days, literally the week after next in Las Vegas. And the guy who already has got his plane booked, he's already got his tickets to a show, I'm sure already, because he's the man. He's probably got him comped or something. Got his hotel, everything else. Matt Stevens, he's the Illini Guys football writer and analyst for IlliniGuys.com. Matt, good to talk to you. Haven't had you on in a few weeks. Want to get ready now. Listen, it's fun to be here in early July and football everyone's excited about. Not apprehensive, not concerned, not cautiously optimistic, but the whole country talking about the Illini football program.
They're not like have you forgotten which fan base we cover here, Larry? And don't, by the way, boss, don't act like you're not the one that booked my travel to Las Vegas. You know exactly
Well,
where you might as well put a GPS on me because you know exactly where I'm going. So
yeah, remember that when you're at Thunder Down Under.
That's right. Have you checked your suitcase lately? Here's a hint. Look under the wheels. Yeah.
Here's a hint of where I'm going to be. If you can find a pool where it's 115 degrees in Vegas in July and where I can go work, that's probably where I'll be. Like they should do that. I should text some people at the Big Ten that they should like do a Cabana Big Ten like football media day like near a pool if it's going to be 115 in July. No, but anyway, yeah, I think everybody recognizes how important the season is, Larry. I think we talked, Sturdy and I were sitting next to each other talking to Josh Whitman or having Josh Whitman talk to us for 3 hours. And I think he fully recognizes how important this particular football season is, not only financially, but from a momentum standpoint for the entire athletic department and for the school in general. I think that they realize what kind of momentum can be carried on from another successful football season, and yet they also understand what can happen if another dip were to happen. So I do think the momentum of not only this football season but obviously the start in September is going to be critical for Illini fans to kind of fully jump on board to what's going on here and what Brett Bielema was trying to build.
I will say, Matt, sitting there listening to Josh Whitman, he's still talking, I think.
Yeah, not with us either, Sturdy. It's at us.
It's like he talked for a long time. Yeah. What was that first thing? It was like an hour and 47 minutes or something insane like that. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad
we're having a conversation right now, Sturdy. That's not what
that wasn't it. Wasn't that? But it is informative. Matt, I do look at this thing and I say that I look at this Illinois football team and I have so many people ask me about football right now. Like, sure. What are they going to do? Are they going to? I actually had a guy message me today and say, are they going to make the college football playoff? And I'm like, they could,
maybe,
but at the end of the day, am I crazy in saying if they win 8 games, then it's this is like a fantastic year because you're backing up a successful season like a 9-3 with an 8-4. And bowl game notwithstanding.
I'll chalk it up to like sections, Sturdy. I think the start is just as important as the whole kit and caboodle, right? I wouldn't advise them to start out 2-2. Like, I don't think that's necessarily going to get the momentum juices going in Champaign-Urbana and among this fan base. I wouldn't suggest that to happen, but let's flip it and say that Illinois starts out 4-0. Like, I think if they start out 4-0 and then end up like say 9-3, I think that you can still consider it a successful season. But 4-0 gets you to places, that I think Illinois fans want to get excited about. Like, it gets you excited about the USC game. It gets you excited about, the Ohio State coming to Champaign-Urbana. Like, that gets you excited about the second, I guess, third of the season. If you split the season up, I think the way that Illinois started the season last year got everybody excited for those games and got everybody excited for that Michigan game. And, the Red Grange game doesn't really have a lot of juice if Illinois is not ranked and they're not having a really, really good season, and probably CBS doesn't show up, right? So I think that there's a lot to be excited about if Illinois can get off to a great start in September. And I've always said that football seasons are a journey, Sturdy. And so if you can get off to that journey really, really well in August and have no injuries in camp, and then get off to a really, really good start in September against games like Duke and then at Indiana, I think you can really start to feel the momentum start to build for those games that everybody wants to get hyped for, which is USC at home, Ohio State at home, and then those games in November when Illinois could really have something on the line.
Is it strange to be around an Illinois football team that you have national guys like Joel Klatt talking about it. Illinois could be this year's Indiana. And you have Coach Brett Bielema not only in demand, but doing quite well on national forums. It almost doesn't seem Illinois like.
No, for me, no, Mike, because I remember when everybody remembered where Mississippi was during, 2014 when Mississippi State and Ole Miss had probably the greatest the state of Mississippi had the greatest college football day in the history of their two programs at the same time. And they kind of remembered where the state of Mississippi was. I think everybody's kind of remembering that, oh yeah, Illinois is that sleeping giant we always talk about, but they never really like maximize the potential of what they have in that program. And sure enough, they hire Brett Bielema and then they have, some sort of success in the portal and have some sort of success in terms of maximizing the talent that they can get in that program. And sure enough, yeah, you have, and then you also have a year like they had last year in Bloomington with Signetti, and you go, okay, it is possible for a school that doesn't have blue blood credentials to make this college football postseason now. And, Illinois is definitely the candidate that everybody kind of points to and goes, yeah, they have an outside shot of getting into that field. And I definitely agree with that if you can get off to the start that you need to get off to in September.
I think Illinois has an advantage even over Signetti and Indiana in 2024 because they had the build-up year, right? I mean,
Yes.
Bielema's taken time to put this in place. And one thing Joel Klatt pointed out that I agree with you, he was saying the schedule works out well. They don't have to play Penn State, don't have to play Michigan, and they get Ohio State at home. I mean, the schedule sets up to be very successful. And I wanted to ask you really quickly about, in terms of, again, the recruits, a couple of local
Sure.
recruits. They choose to go to the SEC. You're not going to win them all, but I think still this recruiting class of 2026 to me epitomizes the message that they're sending and the culture that Bielema and his staff have built in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's the best recruiting class since the Aurelius Ben Martez Wilson class that Ron Zook put together. I fully believe that. I don't think the decisions of J.C. Anderson and Max Sutter change that, at least in my mind. What it also doesn't change in my mind, though, is that the next step for Illinois recruiting is to do better with the elite talent that comes out of the state because Brett Bielema is still having trouble and struggling getting that elite talent to stay home in the state of Illinois. That is the next step for this program to get to consistent 8, 9, 10 win seasons that Brett Bielema wants to get to. That is the next step. I wish, Larry, that Max Sutter and J.C. Anderson played a different position. I think if they played a different position, we would be talking about their recruitment completely differently. I do think it's a shot in the gut to former tight ends coach and current offensive coordinator Barry Lunney that he couldn't get either one of those kids. I think it's a shot to Bielema that he really thought that he could get those types of kids. And I know they're going aggressively at some local talent that's going to be rated really, really high nationally in the 2027 class. And they expect to have different results. So that would be the next step that I think Bielema wants to take with this program is making sure not only like elite Illinois talent, but elite downstate Illinois talent is not leaving the state. And I think that's Bielema always talks about being able to get them on the backside, like in the transfer portal. I don't necessarily think that that's a consistent plan. That Bielema says that because it sounds great. It's not something that he has consistently done. And I don't think that the kids that leave this state and go to these types of programs end up back at Illinois or end up back at a Northwestern. You need to get them here because Illinois, like it or not, I've always said, Larry, that there are cash programs at the top of college football and there are developmental programs at the top of college football. Illinois is not a cash program. They are a developmental program. And in order to be a developmental program, you got to get those kids in as freshmen and start the development. I think if you get them in as transfers, you're not really developing much of anything. So that would be the next step. But the decisions of J.C. Anderson, I repeat, and Max Sutter don't diminish what Illinois has already, put in the barn. That they've put in the barn in this 26 class, and it's going to be ranked somewhere between 25 and I think, 35 nationally, and I think that's more successful than Bielema has ever had in his 5 years at Illinois.
Yeah, there are some coaches in Florida and Texas that are mad that Illinois went in and
Correct.
raided their cupboard and took some talent. So what comes around goes around. There's no question. I go back to what Sturdy said. Listen, if this team wins 8 games, I'm happy because it's happened only once in the last 120 years that Illinois won back-to-back 8-win seasons. So, yeah, a playoff bid, that's awesome. It'd be great. And we're celebrating all the way to wherever they have to go. But 8 wins, let's not sleep on 8 wins and what that means to this program. So,
Larry,
I agree.
they're going to be hosting They're going to be hosting, right? Isn't that
There
the way
you
it
go,
works?
baby.
Let's host.
It's possible. Why not?
If you're
Okay,
going to be in the playoff, you might as well host.
We started this
do
conversation
it.
with where Matt's going to go. Champaign-Urbana in December, folks, is cold. I'd rather go to someplace warm in December. I'm just saying, like, if Illinois wants to win 8 games and go to a Florida bowl game, I'm all for it. Like, I will cover the playoff game in Champaign-Urbana, but like, trust me, like, if they want to go to a warm place in December, you guys know I'm all for it.
Well, it's easy to wipe your eyes with a beach towel. So to wipe the tears away. Exactly.
I can't play golf in Central Illinois in December, folks. Like, I can play golf in Florida in December.
Fair enough. All right, Matt, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you as always. Have a great weekend. If we don't talk to you, enjoy Vegas as best you can. I know it's nothing to do in Vegas, but try to enjoy yourself, and we'll talk to you soon.
Keep yourself busy.
Yeah, I'll text you, Sturdy, and see what I can find.
Yeah, that Cabana, exactly. What I'm working. I'm typing, having a Mai Tai here at the poolside.
Hey, Larry, if you guys, bosses, if you get the text, I'm at the pool. That doesn't mean I'm not working. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly. We have eyes everywhere, my friend.
Right.
All right, Matt. Yeah. We got to run. Matt Stevens, IlliniGuys.com. Check his stuff out again. He will be in Vegas for us covering the Big Ten Media Days. IlliniGuys.com, football writer and analyst. Okay, we've got more on the NIL house and the not so equal treatment of that when it comes to Title IX sports. That conversation is next here on the Sports Spectacular, powered by IlliniGuys.com.